Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time you guys are watching this. The biggest question I get on my YouTube channel, whether it be via Facebook or just in the comments of videos, is I am very young, I'm 16 years old, I want to get a C4. Do you recommend it being my only car, or do you recommend it being my daily driver? Those are the two biggest questions I get, and I figured why not make a video expressing my opinions on that answer. So here we go. Should you buy a C4 as your only car or as a daily driver if you are a young kid just starting out learning how to drive? Alright, so I'm going to give you guys some positives and then some negatives as to whether or not you should buy a C4 Corvette as your first car or as a daily driver. Number one, the C4 is very cheap to buy. Now, if you're going to buy a ZR1 or a Grand Sport that has real low miles, they can still be pretty expensive. But like, for example, I bought my C4, mine's a 1991. I bought mine in 2009 for $7,900. I was 19 years old, I was living at home, I was working full time. I could easily afford my $200 payment a month to pay off this car. Not a problem at all. So, like I said, number one, it's a very cheap car to buy. Now, yes, there's a lot of cheaper cars out there, but if you are specifically wanting a C4, it's not going to break the bank. Number two, they get decent fuel economy for what it is. And what I mean by that is, if you're driving this thing on the highway for an extended period of time and you're not gassing it at all, you're not fooling around, you're just driving like you're driving your mom's minivan, you can get 26 miles per gallon out of these cars. I know a lot of people think that's hard to believe. It's very true. I'm a part of several Facebook pages for C4 Corvettes, and everyone says the same thing. As long as you keep your foot out of it, you can get 26 miles per gallon. Now, filling up isn't very cheap because right now in the United States, the cost per gallon for the ultra octane 93, 94 octane is like $3.85 here in Pennsylvania. So have a 20 gallon tank, you're looking at $60-some to fill up your tank if you're empty. To me, that's not real cheap, but because I only drive the car, so often, I only fill up maybe twice a year, so $120 a year for gas, really not that big of a deal at all. All right, now number three. Parts for the C4 Corvette are fairly inexpensive. And by inexpensive, I mean like they're not like dirt cheap, but they're not really expensive either, like for a newer Corvette. You can buy, like I had to replace my relay switch and my fan a few months ago, and it was like, I forget what it was exactly, but I think it was like less than $10. Maybe it was 15, 20, but still $20 for a part is not that bad, not hard to pay for, in most circumstances. I would recommend the L98 only because it's what I have and it's what I know. I do know, like I said, I'm part of Facebook pages, and a lot of those guys say that the L98 is considered bulletproof. They're so reliable. I have had basically no issues with this car since I've owned it. It's been an absolute dream to drive and own. And so for that, I would say it's a very inexpensive car to maintain because the parts themselves are cheap. Number four, you might not think about this when it comes time to buy a car, but I know in a lot of parking lots in my area, there's a lot of speed bumps, and even if you're driving through certain developments, and I have never had my car scrape one of the speed bumps. I always go very slow over them, like I creepy crawl across them, just because I don't want to take that chance. But if you don't adjust your ride height to be any lower than what it is, from stock, your Corvette, your C4 Corvette should not hit any speed bumps unless you have like a really, high one that's not typical. But I have never had that issue, which is good because I wouldn't want to lower the car and have that issue. And some cars are lower. The C4 is a low car, but it's not too low to where you really can't drive many places. Number five. This one is just, I don't know. I would say that this car is just so enjoyable to drive. If you're looking for a fun car that's going to make you happy every time you get in the car, You're gonna feel like you're gonna feel good about yourself. You're gonna look classy if that's what you're going for. This car will give it to you. You always feel like you're getting into a cockpit, like you're getting into a race car. And of course, this guy's looking right out in front of me. Oh boy. But anyways, the car always gives you that feeling. I know I did a comparison test, not a comparison test, but a comparison between my car and the C5 back in October. And the guy who owned the C5, his name's Matt, he even said that the C4 feels more powerful than his C5 at certain RPMs. I know the L98, which this engine has, is an extreme torque monster. By torque monster, I mean when you give it gas at low RPMs, it throws you back in your seat big time, which you don't feel that in the C5 unless, of course, you do some modifications to it. But the car is just so much fun to have. You and your honey can sit here in the passenger seat, driver's seat and passenger seat, combined, and there's plenty of room in the back seat. I'm sorry, plenty of room in the back cargo area to put all kinds of stuff. You can put suitcases, you can put groceries. My best friend and I once put big speakers in the back, and they barely fit, but we got them in, and we drove all the way from Ohio. Now, we could not fit them in with the top on, so we top in the back, so we actually left the top at home because we didn't want to have the top with us because that's no fun. But I would say that's my 5 reasons why I would say, I think it would be okay to have a C4 be your only car or your first car. You definitely want to look around, make sure you're getting a good well taken care of car. Make sure the people who had it before you didn't treat it like crap and didn't maintain it very well. But if you can find a good, well maintained C4, I would say why not. I don't see a reason why you shouldn't. I mean, personally, I would recommend having a second vehicle like I do. I mean, I have 3 other vehicles, but we're not going to go there right now. But if you could have a second vehicle, it would definitely be a help. But I don't think you're going to be in too many situations where you're going to be like, crap, all I have is my C4. Now, if you are extremely concerned about it getting wet in the rain, then I would say absolutely not. Do not do that. But that is my 5 reasons why I think it would be okay to get a C4 as your first car or your only car. Now, of course, I'm sure it's no surprise, but with every positive, I'm sure there's a few negatives. So I'm going to go over a few of the negative reasons why you might not want to have a C4 as your only car or your first car. We're going to go over them right now. But before you guys skip ahead or cancel the video or whatever, please stick around to the end of the video. I have some exciting news that I want to share with you guys, so please stick around for that. All right, now for the negatives, number 1 is one of the most obvious things about the Corvette is it only has 2 seats. And in case you want to go online and try to find the 4-seater versions, you ain't gonna find it. There's no such thing. Corvette has been a 2-seater car since the beginning, and you're not gonna be able to find that. Now, with that being said, I have a family. I'm married. I have 2 kids. Therefore, there's 4 of us. And no, we can never, ever, ever go as a family in the Corvette. But as to the point of this video, first car or only car, if it's your first car, you're more than likely you're not married and more than likely you don't have kids. If it's going to be your only car, then maybe you're selling the only car you have now and replacing with this. I'm not sure, but if you're looking for a vehicle that seats more than 2, obviously not a good choice. Number 2, I would say that, and I'm sure people would disagree with me on this, and that's fine. But I've noticed that whenever I drive this car for like 5 or 6 days in a row, which I had done before, that the enjoyment that I got out of it the very first day kind of starts to dwindle a little bit when I get to the 5th day. Like, I feel like you lose the enjoyment whenever you drive a car like this every day. I know I don't drive mine in the wintertime, so when I get it out in the spring, I'm always like beyond stoked, beyond excited to finally get this car out and take it for a drive. And I feel like if it's going to be your daily driver, that you're not going to appreciate it as much as you will. Now, again, people are going to complain about what I just said and think that I'm wrong, and that's fine. This is my opinions on the drivability and the daily driver side of things, if this is what you're going to do with the Corvette. And then we get to number 3. If you have bad weather in your area. Like, I live in Pennsylvania, so bad weather is very common here, especially in the wintertime. We don't get a lot, but we get snow, we get sleet, we get freezing rain. It's cold for several months out of the year, which I personally love. I love cold weather. But if you're gonna have this as your only car, you might want to make sure you have good friends or family members who can help you out and take you places if it gets to the point where you need help because you can't drive your car because there's 3 inches of snow on the ground or more. If you live in a climate where there's never really any chance of snow, bad weather, then I would say why not? Go for it and enjoy it. But again, if you have bad weather, I would not recommend a Corvette as being your only driver. Your only car, I'm sorry. First car, sure. I don't think you really want to be driving in snow in your Corvette when you're just learning how to drive. I think that would be a terrible idea since it is rear-wheel drive and just not good in snow at all. Number 4. This one is very, very common for these older Corvettes, well, older cars in general, but the technology is now 30 years old. So a lot of that stuff goes bad and that's hard to get, fixed. I know in my car, my Bose Gold Series radio that most of you guys might know about has not worked now for about 2 years for me. I have replaced the CDM, which is the brain of the radio, because what you see here is not the brain. The brain's actually up underneath the dash. My radio right now does not work, which sucks. I love having a radio, but I can't have one right now, and I don't really have the money to spend on a radio right now. And also, like my gauge cluster, the tachometer, which shows your RPMs, does not. It's way off right now. Right now, it says I'm doing 4,000 RPMs in 5th gear, and I know for a fact that's not right. It goes way past red line all the time whenever I'm driving, and I know that's not accurate at all. However, if you have the money, if you have money set aside to be able to replace the electronics in the car, there are places that still do that. You can send parts away, have them done, have them redone. That's not a problem. For me, I don't have the money to be putting in a lot of money into this car at this point in my life. Like I said, I have a family of 2 kids. It's just not easy for me right now. But if you have the money, then yes, you can do that. But there's going to be some, electronics go bad in your car, and that's just the way it is. Alright folks, we just got back home and I wanted to give the last, like, number 5, the 5th and final negative to having this be your only car or your daily driver. The problem is if it's your daily driver, you are going to have like an overabundance of friends and people that just want to be your friend. I tell you, every time I show up to a party or show up to anything, go to church, whatever, and I'm in this thing, man, I mean, I got out of the car, there's like a flock of people around me, like, whoa, dude, I love your car, it's freaking awesome. Dude, I love how the color is like all black and it's just so shiny and blah, blah, blah. And I get that. I mean, I 100% understand where you're coming from, because before I had this car, whenever I saw one somewhere, I'm like, dude, what's up, man? I love your car, it's all black, it's like, it's all cool looking. It doesn't get old though, I gotta be honest. But if you don't like the attention, you might not want to get a Corvette. Just saying. Now, of course, if you had like a C8 or C7, you might get a little more attention, but these things are still turning heads. I mean, it might be 30 years old, but I can tell you right now, people still look, and I love it. It's one of the coolest things about the car, and of course the exhaust is too. But the one thing I forgot to mention though is the power. The L98, like I said, is a very torquey car. They're awesome, but when you pull up to a red light or a stop sign and you want to take off, The way it throws you back in the seat, like that feeling never gets old. That's awesome. My Jetta right here, it's got a lot of power. I love it to death. Very nice car, great car. And she's got a turbo, so she has you know, some more power up top where this one does not. But now again, this is the L98. The other C4 engines I've never driven, so I don't know anything about them. I know the ZR1's a lot faster, but the L98 of the C4 Corvette is a very torquey car, torque monster, like I said. Just a lot of fun to drive. And so yeah, if you guys are looking to buy a C4 as your only car or a daily driver, there's my opinions, positives and negatives of doing that. I know if it was me personally, I would not want to have a C4 Corvette be my daily driver or my only vehicle, but I don't think it's undoable. I know there's lots of people out there that do. There's people that have 300, 400,000 miles on their C4s because they drive to work every single day. And I mean, you're going to have, you know, common issues with a car like this, even that car like that. If you drive a car 400,000 miles, you're going to have problems. I mean, that's pretty much common sense. So again, there's my opinions on positive and negatives of the car. Now, like I said, I have a surprise at the end of this video. Let's get right to that right now. All right, so the surprise I had for you guys. If you guys remember from my last video, the last video that I did, it did not do very well at all, which was a huge bummer for me, because that video, I'm just gonna be completely straight up honest with you. It took a lot of planning, took a lot of time. I was very excited. It took a lot of time to edit it. I was really excited for you guys to see that video and get it out there, and for some reason just didn't do well at all. If you guys did not watch that video, please do me a favor and go back and watch it. If you have, then of course you don't have to, but if you did, I'd really appreciate it, especially the bloopers at the end. A lot of people like that, and I'm glad you guys did. But in that video, as you guys noticed, Super Clean Guy was here. He came in the garage, he showed all the products, how it worked, blah, blah, blah. A lot of you guys liked him. Super Clean did not sponsor that channel, or they're not sponsoring this channel. I'm doing all this advertising for them for free. But however, they did tell me that for this video right here, they're going to pick one lucky winner, and whoever is that winner is going to receive one of the Super Clean aerosols, and then also just the normal spray bottle. The spray bottle that I don't have with me right now. My boss, I actually gave it to him to use because he had some stuff he wanted to do with this car, and he absolutely loved it. Could not believe how well it worked. So it does work very well, guys. It's a super awesome product. I hope that this light back here isn't making me look completely dark, like a silhouette. I'm sorry. But anyways, so what I need you guys to do is I need you guys to subscribe to the channel and just comment anything you want. It doesn't matter what it is, positive, negative, whatever. I get lots of negative. It's fine. I don't care what it is. Positive or negative comment. I prefer positive. Be great. Be uplifting. You know, be kind. And then subscribe to the channel. And then on my next video, there's a thing online you can put in like a channel URL, and it just does a random pool of a comment. And whoever that comment winner is going to win an aerosol and the normal just spray bottle of this. I do have a business email in the about section of my channel. You can go on there, you can send me an email to confirm your mailing address and your name, and then I can get the stuff sent off. I'll let Super Clean know, and they'll send it directly to your address. So this is my first giveaway. It's not something that I actually purchased to give to you guys, but it's something cool that a company wants to do for me to help you. So please feel free to subscribe to the channel. Please like this video. You don't have to like the video to be in the contest, but please subscribe and comment anything you want, and you might have a chance to win some Super Clean products. The contest is actually going to run for 2 weeks. From the day this video goes live, which I'm not sure at this point when it's going to be. It'll be here in a few days. But from the day that this video goes live on YouTube, there will be exactly 2 weeks. So make sure you subscribe and comment, you know, as soon as you can. This way you get your name in the running to win that prize. And of course, if you don't want the Super Clean product, you just Doulop. I'm sorry. I appreciate, you know, me winning. I don't want it. Perfectly fine with me. I'm actually gonna draw 3 names, so I have like a winner, a runner-up, and then a second runner-up. This way, if the first person doesn't ever email me, or if they just don't want the product, then I will go to the next person. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you did not like this video, please give it a thumbs up anyways. It's a huge help to the channel. Please subscribe. Take care now. See you later, man.